Hey everybody, it's Ken Kmet, condovoice.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I just wanted to make a commentary video. And I kidded with my wife yesterday. I said I was going to buy her a new dryer because our dryer broke. And it was working, not working, whatever. We bought it about a year and a half ago from one of the big box stores, if you know what I mean. I didn't buy it from a local retailer or a local smaller mid-sized company. I bought it from the big company. And you know, I didn't think about it much at the time, but now I really am. Enough to make this video, because you see what I bought her? I bought her a new dryer. You know what this is? It's the clothesline. That's exactly what this is. Look at that. See that? Yeah, that's her new dryer. So I got to tell you what happened. And we're still in the middle of it. But anyway, I'm just getting ready. I'm in the backyard. I'm going to string up a clothesline. And we laughed about it, but it's true. We've always had a washer dryer. And anyway, so the dryer knob, the timer mechanism started going wonky. And I was playing with it, and I realized, you know, it would work, it wouldn't work, that kind of thing. So eventually it just decided, okay, it's done. So what do? We make a phone call to we get our warranty paperwork, get our receipt, the whole bit. It says, call this number, okay? We got a full warranty. I paid $135 for it when I paid $650 for the dryer. So the whole thing, tax, tag, title, and the warranty, is I never buy a major appliance without a warranty. I haven't for a long time, and it always pays to buy the warranty. But here's the key. Well, anyway, I paid, I think, $850 for the whole package. All right. So the dryer's working, and the key is those local service companies that honor the warranties, they don't exist anymore. That's the problem. Oh my gosh. So I make the 800 number call. I get somebody on the phone. It takes me, they read from this script. First of all, when I make the call, I get a robot voice. I hate that. I don't hate a lot of things in this life. I severely do not like when I get a robot voice. It's like, that's your first impression with this experience. I'm going to communicate, negotiate, talk to, work out a problem, fix a problem with a robot. I don't like it. So anyway, so I get through the phone tree, I get through the robot talking, I get through all that stuff. All right, then they qualify me. They do, 10 different steps to qualify me, okay? The whole thing. They want to know as much as possible before I actually get a human being on the phone with a voice. So I get a human being on the phone with a voice. And then I get, forgive me, it sounds like a very young person who sounded brand new at the job, and literally they were reading off a piece of paper. You could tell they were reading off a piece of paper. Here's what you do when someone calls. You check the boxes. You have a conversation. You get them to follow they're going to lead that conversation. Not you, not the customer, okay? No matter what you tell them, they're going to say, but sir, and then this is the deal, right? So they go down this list of qualifiers, who you are, your address, you know, all this stuff. Got to find the model number, got to find the serial number. The new thing is you got to be with the piece of equipment. Okay, here we go. Ready? Here's the deal. You got to be standing with the piece of equipment. Why? Because they want you to now self-diagnose what the problem is. That's right. They're not going to send a tech out. They're going to let this person who obviously knows nothing about appliance repair, is grateful to have the job, nice person, wonderful human being, okay, very nice, very tolerant, very patient, the whole bit. But dealing with me, a customer that's unhappy in the first place, a little bit of an attitude, confess, but I'm trying to get my dryer fixed. Okay, so I wasn't with the appliance, but I had everything else, had the paperwork. I was running an errand. I figured I'd call him on the phone while I'm in the car. So I'm in the car. I tell him everything. Plus, I know how to fix things, okay? I know that what's wrong with this dryer is the timer dial mechanism. The entire assembly is gone. It's shot. I played with it. I felt it. I know it wouldn't rotate right. It was also intermittent. And all of these things tell me that that assembly needs to be replaced. Boom. That's what's wrong with this dryer. Because dryers aren't that complicated. So anyway, but that wasn't, they didn't want to hear any of that. So here I am trying to explain what's going on. And then they said, okay, we're just going to suspend this phone call because you're not actually with the appliance. No matter what I told them, even what I just explained to you here, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't going to happen. It just, when all the time what they're trying to do now, get ready for this. If you've got an extended warranty, you're going to self-diagnose your own problem. You're going to tell them what's wrong. They're going to order the part. Now this is what's next. They're going to order the part based on what you tell them. Again, this is somebody who obviously has no training whatsoever on how to repair things, but they're just documenting the phone call. So, all right. So next up is they're going to schedule an appointment. So what I physically did was I said, listen, I know this is what's wrong with the dryer. So anyway, the young man was nice. He said, okay, I'm going to document it on the thing. We're going to go ahead and set you up with an appointment time. Fine, great, okay. So that's 3 days from now, and they're going to be there between 10 and 2, and they're going to do the first visit on this appliance. Great, wonderful. You know what? I'm thinking, okay, I don't need this. All right, we can make it. We can make it 3 days without a dryer. Okay, then I get a phone call, okay, from another company, and it says, you've made a phone call with the company that you bought the dryer from, but, and incidentally, during that other phone call, it turns out that it's not the big box store actually honoring the warranty. They've hired a third party actually to do the warranty processing and administration. So that it's a big name too. I won't tell you which one it is, but it's a big name, and they do these warranties. Okay, fine. So anyway, those two tended to merge okay. Here's what happened. Now there's another third party involved. You know who the third party is? It's going to be the company that's actually going to do the warranty work. That's a big company. That's a big name. That's a whole nother phone tree. That's a whole nother robot talking to me. A whole nother phone tree, the whole bit. So I you know what? Just do it. Fine. So my wife and I are laughing the whole time we're doing this thing. Thank goodness we're laughing, otherwise we'd be upset. So we go through the whole phone tree and we go, okay, what's going on? We had an appointment, now we got to do this. Oh, we got the phone call saying, okay, so I have to go through the same thing. It was like the previous phone call never happened. All that work, all that information got lost into cyberspace. And they had no clue why I was calling. So anyway, I finally get through the phone tree. I talk to that person on the phone. And it's another, I'm sorry, young person, sounded pretty new. And she said, why are you calling? I said, why am I calling? You called me. Okay, you called me, left a message, said, call back this number, here's the deal. Gave him my model number, my name, the whole bit. She couldn't necessarily locate anything. So there was a big loss in translation thing here, okay? From the big box store to the big warranty company to now the service company, okay? Just scratching my head, literally going, what is this? So anyway, story goes on. So she said, let me put you on hold. So I'm listening to the music for a good 5 or 10 minutes because she immediately had to talk to her supervisor. I don't know why, but she did. So she comes back on the phone. She says, well, we can't locate you in the system. I said, okay. So I gave them all the different phone numbers. So they finally found me. She said, okay, hold again. Another 10 minutes. Comes back to the phone, says, well, I can't seem to resolve the situation. My supervisor's busy, so I'll have to call you back. I said, okay. So let's see. Next thing we did was I said, but listen, could you please just tell me when the part is going to be shipped? Because what she told me, and then she told me, she said, well, sir, we can't tell you that until we diagnose the machine. So I need you to be with the machine again. I need you to walk through the whole thing with me again. Well, she didn't say that, but I'm thinking, okay, you need me to do all this. So I had to do the whole thing all over again, the whole thing. And there was no way I wasn't home again. So I said, you know what? I'm not going home. So my wife and I are driving in the car. We got her on speaker. And I said, you know what? Just imagine that we're with the machine right now. And the lady was like, okay. She was cool, but she was in the system. So she could only do what the form told her to do. And I said, okay, we're going to tell you. And she was recording this phone call. You know, this time I get this phone call is being recorded. I had to agree to be recorded before she would even talk to me to fix my dryer. So I said, okay, can we just imagine that were with the machine. She said, okay, fine. I said, okay. So, and I told her, I said, because I'd already done all this before. So she said, okay, I get what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's the timer mechanism assembly. Just order me another one. So anyway, what happened was I still don't know. So here's what happened. She said, I'm going to have to call you back to give you a date and a time for when the part's going to arrive and whether or not we're going to order that part or whether or not we've succeeded with the diagnosis. I said, okay, fine. So I said, but I got to tell you, I'm so confused right now. Who's going to service this thing? Here's how the story just keeps going on. And this is like nails dragging on a chalkboard, if you can remember what that sounds like. There's no more chalkboards anymore, but that's what it sounds like. And so I get an email from the big box store saying they're going to honor the warranty and that the server tech is going to show up at my house. I said, hallelujah. And then I get a call back from the third-party warranty, not the service company, but the third-party warranty, saying the same thing. So I literally am sitting here right now not knowing who's going to service my dryer, what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, whether it's been diagnosed properly or not, whether the part's going to show up at my house. I have no idea whether it's going to be 3 weeks from now or tomorrow. No idea. Even though I got a confirmation back from the big box store saying that they are going to honor, they're going to be here on Friday. So maybe somebody will show up on Friday. But it says, don't stay home all day. The announcement, don't stay home all day because we may or may not be there. But you do have this appointment. Isn't this great? Can you just imagine, okay, walk a mile in my shoes here. So I'm sitting here going, what are we going to do? So my wife says, well, I guess we're going to have to, our washer works, so we're going to wash clothes, and we're going to go to the laundromat. I said, when was the last time you were at the laundromat? First of all, there's not that many of them anymore. And they don't really exist in areas where you've got, let's say, middle class living or something, because they don't need them. They all have washers and dryers. So we have to go across town to find a laundromat. And I don't want to go spend 2 hours waiting for my clothes to dry. So I said, boing, we're going with the old-fashioned hang up a line in your yard and we're going to dry our clothes. I said, that's what, and she's, you're not going to like it. I said, well, why not? Because she said, when they come off the line, they're hard, they're crisp. And just imagine taking a shower and getting out, and you're not going to have your fluffy, beautiful towel. You're going to have this piece of thing that feels like sandpaper across your body. And I said, you know what? At this point, whatever. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. I'll steam it before I use it or something. So, and now we're all down to the mode of, okay, we got to wear clothes 2 days in a row. Don't throw them in the dirty clothes. Just wear them a couple times, you know. Extend the life of that washed material or washed piece of clothing. So we're in the mode where we could have a dryer in a couple of days, maybe working, to all the way, this could take a month. So that's where we've come, folks, in the appliance warranty industry. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. This is so confusing that, let me just say, I'm not prejudiced. I'm not. You can ask anybody. I've had people working for me from every nationality on the planet, and that's the truth. And I love them all. You know what? They have cultures, they have ways of living, they have standards, and you know what? We're a blended society now, and that's just the way it is. But I have to say this about skills and training and experience. I don't care if you're from Mars. If you don't have the ability, the resourcefulness, the thinking, the common sense that it takes to work through problems, why are you in customer service? Don't take that job. And if you're a big corporation and you're so worried about profits that you can't hire a live person to work through a problem with me, and you've got to robotize everything and AI it and do all this other stuff just because you can, that doesn't make me happy. That makes me living out without a dryer for I don't know how long, maybe a month. It's like, whatever. So what are you saying? You're saying don't buy extended warranties and just buy another dryer when it breaks? Or if I can't fix it myself, that's what I got to do? So it's not just use and throw away small appliances or small electronics. Now it's major appliances. That's really what this is about. Or go back to the old ways, which is the end of my commentary here. I think that's where we're all headed. I mean, honestly, these days, I think the Amish and the Mennonites have a one-up on us high-tech people, us socialized, mediaized, whateverized. We're so ized that and we're so technology-driven that we can't live without it. God forbid we have an EMP by the sun because we're heading into a major solar cycle, I heard. Okay, what if that grid goes down in some way, shape, or form? What are we going to do? Holy cow, we're so codependent on technology, so codependent on a new generation that really doesn't understand how to fix things and how things really work, because they haven't had the adversity to have to learn on their own. That whole thought process, those whole neural pathways that I developed when I was young because I had to figure it out on my own. Every job I've ever had, I had to figure out on my own. Nobody taught me. Nobody trained me. And you know what? I was desperate for the money, so I figured it out. I learned on my own. I went, if something was broke, I went to one that worked. I looked at it. I came back. I memorized it. I didn't have a phone back then. I memorized it. I said, okay, that's what's wrong. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it like the one that works. It's that kind of resourceful common sense that's so lacking. I can't get my dryer fixed. You know what? I really wish that I could go down to this parts store and buy a new timer mechanism assembly and just rip it apart and replace it. And if that's what it takes, I'm just going to do it. Because the aggravation, for me, depending on the $135 that I spent, thinking I was going to have some security and some assurance that if something went down and something broke because that manufacturer built that thing and now it's failed on me after a year and a half, that I was going to be okay and I wasn't going to be inconvenienced and I, the customer, was worthy of the respect that I should have, that I deserve. That ain't happening here. They don't care. They really don't care anymore. So we as a consumer have to stand up for this. We have to do something. Otherwise, that train, that corporate train of high monopoly, that high, okay, we own everything and this is just the way it's going to be and you're going to like it or lump it. I don't like lumping it. I'm not doing that. So I am going to de-eyes my life, I think. Digitize, technologize, whatever it takes. Okay, it's been nice, it's been fun, but you know what? It's not entertaining anymore and it's not enjoyable and it's very inconvenient and it doesn't work. So I don't agree with technology for technology's sake. I don't agree with robots talking to me on the phone. I don't agree with any of that. I don't think it works and I think it's going to fail. Eventually it's going to fail big time because the more we grow to like it or become codependent on it, even the phone that's taking this video, you know, I mean, at some point it's going to fail. And when it stops working, my life will stop working in some way. And I will become dysfunctional. I don't like that. I think I've got a baseline that I need to shoot for. It's back again to that baseline. I need to make sure that, you know what, when that technology fails or that device fails or my dryer doesn't work, that I got one of these in symbolic form as a backup for everything that I do. You know, the work that I do, I have a backup tool for everything I do. I have 2 lawn tractors, okay, in case one goes down. I have a backup tool for everything I have. And I've learned if you're going to be in business and you're going to make a living with those tools and everything else that I use for that, I've got to have backups. We don't have any backups. My phone goes down, I don't have a backup phone. I don't have a backup technology. What am I going to do? I just got rid of my home line. My home analog, they don't make analog lines anymore, by the way. Okay, we've evolved beyond that. So what's going to happen if the phone system goes down? What if I can't communicate with people? I'm out of work. People are going to go, well, what's going on? Well, hopefully we'll all understand and have grace for each other and love each other enough to say, well, it's a system failure. We're all just going to have to get through this. But then we've got to get through it. How many people know how to do that? Let me tell you something. If you haven't been through the adversities of down economics and down economic times, and when you ain't got a buck, or you ain't got technology, or I don't have a dryer, for goodness sakes, I can live without a dryer. I can live without a washer. If I have to, I'll get a bucket and some water and some suds and a scraper. I'll get one of my old washboards that's hanging on my wall as a decorative item and make it functional. That's resourcefulness. That's common sense. That's what we have to not be afraid to do because we're too proud or too whatever to do it or too lazy. Don't be that way. I don't think it's good physically to do that. I don't think it's good mentally, and I know it's not good spiritually to do it. Being humble or being humbled by something that's happened and being able to take it in stride and say, okay, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay with this, but I had to make this video, and I want to make this statement, and I really want to get the word out. I think in my small little way here that when something breaks, either in your home, in your personal life, or your community, you know, find resourceful people, find your resources, find those things you can depend on that actually work as a baseline. That's a clothesline. That's a dryer. That's an $850 dryer I'm holding in my hand that cost me $1.79, and it works. May not work as well, but it works. And the difference between $850 and $1.79, and the aggravation of having to wait for I don't know how long for this warranty company to come and fix my dryer, I guarantee you it's going to take at least 2 trips. I guarantee you, because that person is going to show up, and none of the communication or effort that I put into these conversations that I've had in advance to try, I don't care. They can't do triage. They can't do that. Well, they can try. And it might be, why take my word for it? I'm not a dryer repairman. I'm a pretty good fixer. I can make sense. But, so they're going to take, and I'm pretty good at this. I'm just trying to imagine maybe a housewife that isn't really mechanically inclined standing next to the dryer trying to explain to this person what's wrong, because they don't want to send a tech out first and spend that money. They want to try and do this over the phone. You got to be kidding me. That's just ridiculous. I don't know who thought of that. It's a way to save money. It wasn't broken the way it was before. It doesn't need fixing. The communication thing, the setup. This is different. This is terrible. So anyway, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. I hope I am. And I hope enough of you get sick and tired of this, where you just don't buy these third-party warranties and you find a local company. You know, here's my solution. And we were just talking about this. I bought a washer off a local company that services their own products. I should plug them here, but I won't, because who knows who's watching this video and where you're at. It's just a local that just handles the county that I live in. But you know what? I'm buying every appliance I can from that company. And I'm going to tell them, whatever it takes to keep you in business, I want to do it. I will overpay for an appliance to you if that makes you stay in business, because I want to pick up that phone and I want to hear a friendly voice, and I want somebody saying, gee, we're sorry that happened to you. We'll do whatever we can to make it right. And we'll have a service tech out there, and we'll take care of it. You know, providing they can find the parts, we'll get you back up and running as soon as we can. Aren't those sweet words of customer service you would just love to hear? That's what I want to hear when I pick up the phone. I don't want to get a robot. I don't want to get somebody who absolutely knows nothing about, who's halfway across the world, that can barely speak my language. I don't want that. Nothing against them, but I don't want that. It doesn't fix my problem. What fixes my problem is local service. And if you're a local service out there, man, God bless you. Stay in business. We need you. All right. Anyway, I got to go hang my new dryer from tree to tree out here a couple times and take care of my problem the way I know I can, the way I have the resources to do it. At least I'm out of harm's way. At least I'm out of the crisis for now. And folks, I hope this economy doesn't turn down like I'm hoping it won't. But if it does, and this is the big one, worse than 2008, you're gonna figure out a lot of ways to get by that you were codependent on before with the technology, and now you're gonna have to forget about technology. You're gonna say, okay, I'm just gonna have to figure out another way. And you know what? Adversity is a great teacher, and you'll learn. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. God bless you all. Come on down to condovoice.com. We're about helping you out, not just with clotheslines and things like that, but with more complicated and much more significant issues with your building and your property and your community. All right. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.